All right.
All right, welcome everybody. My name is Kevin Hong, and I'm joined with these beautiful people here. We've got Brian, Alina, Derek, and
Yo.
Jess. So we're here today to talk to you guys all about Gundams and Gunpla. So before we move on, I just want to...
Yes, fine. Don't worry, it's all good.
All right. I just want to thank Plama, which is our sponsor, and what they did was they sponsored a bunch of kits for us for later this afternoon for our build session. If you guys would like to join us, it is a free session, so come on by and join us. We're in the Arabian Sea, I believe.
Yes.
At 5:30.
Upstairs.
Upstairs, second floor, up the escalator, past the VIP room. There we'll be hosting a
Kind of workshopping.
workshop, and we'll be actually handing out kits for you to experience the build.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes,
For you, yes. For you, yes. Just for you. Yeah.
we do not need them back.
Please don't.
Take them.
Take 'em.
Also, we would definitely love to thank the expo itself for giving us the opportunity to come and introduce everyone here to the world of Gunpla.
Yeah.
Right. So on top of everything here, we are also part of a group called CGC, and Derek and Melina here, actually, they are the ones that started it for us.
Yeah, basically for us, we started was like Gunpla.
The Calgary Gun Festival community. Oh, that's a high grade.
Yeah.
There it is. Yeah, we took over the group around 2017. We thought that there was a lot of ways that we can build a community, and so we started with things like meetups. Then we got to do like events, contests. We do Secret Santas every Christmas.
Yeah, we basically host other events like tutorial classes. Additionally, events like sort of like these. Like we're in a few more weeks, 20 days from now, in Odafest, we'll be hosting a showcase contest to show all the cool works that we have, like this, but probably better.
He's actually really good at building, so.
Yeah.
So he's just humble. He's just humble. So on top of CGC itself, we are actually part of an online community called the GTS. And GTS was actually started by this beautiful guy right here.
Hey guys, I'm Jess, and I began GTS back in 2020, right before the lockdown. And it's meant to be more of an online community where people can come out and hang out and check out the reviews that we make ourselves. As you guys can see over there, I just put up some thumbnails so you guys can check us out. We're stationed here in Calgary, and we like to hang out and do reviews together. But the point is, I joined in and I asked these beautiful people to be a part of it. And now it's grown to be a part of like the CGC and GTS kind of thing. And that's where we're now. So if you guys ever want to come and hang out, I know I see some people like Wilson who's part of it and also part of the CGC, everybody else. So, yeah.
So the big thing with us here, one of the biggest things we enjoy at Gunpla a lot is the community. Calgary is slowly getting bigger with all of this, and that's what we're all here for, is to bring everyone together.
Mm-hmm.
All of us here are pretty, I guess we'd say veterans to the
Experience.
to building itself, so we're always teaching, we're always doing everything we can for everybody, just to get people into the audience.
Yeah. We'll talk through it and we'll explain what it is a little bit more now. And it's not that scary, guys. It's easier than you think.
Actually, do any of you guys build Gunpla? Can I see a raise of hands, see who's
Good number.
who's actually gotten into the hobby?
30%.
Yeah.
It's pretty cool. That's pretty nice. Okay. I know you built Gunpla too.
Yeah.
So like,
That's
yeah, that's
good.
awesome.
So it's not that foreign. So that's great.
But for those who haven't,
No, before that.
Oh.
So the ones that have built, we are expecting to see all your guys' beautiful work at Odafest. And for those of you that haven't, I really hope you guys come to our event this afternoon, and I want to be able to show you guys what it's all about.
Yeah. No, it's good. Everyone starts somewhere, right?
Definitely.
any questions? No?
Any questions so far? No.
Okay.
So, why are we here? Of course, to talk about Gundams and Gunpla. So with the Gundams itself, it started as a Japanese anime. Also, we have a vast Gundam line here itself.
Yeah.
And you can see right from the beginning of 1979 till now, it's huge. Each of these series has their own lineup of Gundam kits. There are, I think we talked about over 2,000 kits.
Yes, more than two. That was 2,000 kits back in 2020. Back then, that was produced so far, so probably way exceeded that now.
Yeah, and it just continues to grow from there, which actually brings us to the next little bit here, which is the Witch of Mercury. It's the newest line and newest series that is out right now. Those of you that haven't watched it yet, definitely get into it. It is an amazing series.
You can watch it on Crunchyroll and also on YouTube. It's free.
Yeah,
It's awesome.
You can watch it.
Yeah, and Gunpla itself is very, very well known all around Asia itself. It's grown into Europe. Europe's getting really big as well. And then in recent years, it's actually come to, I guess, North America, you can say, and
the West.
it's really, really blown up since then.
It's going to be big. It's going to get even bigger. We all know that there's a live action coming out in Netflix. Eventually. We don't know when. But eventually.
Hopefully it's not going to be butchered. We really, really hope it won't be butchered.
Welcome, guys.
Hi, welcome.
Hey, good to see you.
All right.
Alright, so yeah, because Gundam is so big in Japan, like we were saying there, they actually have right now a 1-to-1 scale of the unicorn Gundam in Diversity itself. With this Gundam over here, throughout the day it actually transforms. It is really cool. I'm going there in the fall, so I'm very, very excited to
Lucky.
see this. So just a quick little clip here that actually shows. If you were to see it, go at night. At night it looks a lot better.
This is the only good video I found. Enjoy it.
Really transforms. But
I'll just put it to where it's really nice. So I mean,
yeah.
it has lights and everything, and it's 1-to-1 scale. It's huge. Oh wait.
Yeah.
Is it gonna listen to me? There we go. There we go. The lights on.
Identically, it's like the black one down there, I believe, or the white one here. They're actually like that.
Yep.
Not broken though. This one's broken. Keep broken. Yeah, so even in Shanghai itself, if you scroll to the next sheet, that's the Freedom Gundam, which is that one. No, that is.
Yeah, that's
oh, no,
the Freedom.
Yeah, that's just the Freedom.
It's the Freedom.
Yeah.
Strike running like an upgrade version.
Yeah, Strike. This is the upgraded version of it. The Strike
The
Freedom.
only problem with this one is they're not very good at posing a giant statue, so it looks a little lopsided. But this is in Shanghai, and like I said, it's growing. I think other places, somewhere in Europe, it might be getting a new one as well for
I think
themselves.
Paris is the
Yeah, I
next
think
one.
Paris is the
yeah,
next
Paris is
biggest
the next
one.
one. But we actually have our own,
We have our own stuff.
but it's not 1-to-1.
If you guys were at Odafest last year, you guys would have seen it. It's the big old.
Yeah.
Big rat.
So think about it. Think about it as the Eiffel Tower in Paris, and then the Eiffel Tower in Vegas. We're Vegas.
We're Vegas.
This is Vegas size.
This is Vegas size, and if you guys are there, is it coming this year?
No, I got the 8-foot one coming this year, not the 18. This is an 18-foot statue.
Yeah, it's big.
In the future, I'll try to bring it again, but yeah. Yes.
How many hours of Gunpla building did it take to make the 18-foot one?
Uh,
Started as a kid or?
Oh, yeah.
now, I will tell you a quick story. It did come with a runner, believe it or not.
It was like strapped to an actual like runner-looking piece.
And
but
we
it was
put it
being
together. It
transported.
took us roughly about 2.5 hours to put it together with a forklift.
At like 11 p.m. at night.
Yeah, it was really late.
But it was great. But yeah, if you want to see one, see it in 20 days. There's a smaller one you can take pictures with. Definitely.
And if the hobby grows, you just watched IBO, you said earlier, right?
Yeah, I finished it last night.
So you know there was a fight in Edmonton.
Yes, I do know
Yeah,
there
in
was a
season
fight.
1. So we could get our own Gunpla.
But
This
hopefully
big.
it's in Calgary by then.
In Calgary, not in Edmonton.
Does Calgary even exist anymore?
Who knows?
No.
Somewhere in there. So
Somewhere.
hopefully we get one day. Could you imagine downtown Calgary with a big old 18-foot bar?
I'm working on it. I'm working on it.
We'll get it there one
Who's
day.
gonna build it? So moving on, what is Gunpla? So Brian, tell us a little bit about some Gunpla.
I'd be happy to. Sorry, y'all about it.
There we go.
Yay.
I think
Hey,
it's working.
there we go.
So Gunpla it's just a short form word for Gundam plastic model. It refers to Gundam model kits specifically, but as we mentioned before, we're kind of an all-inclusive group. It started with Gunpla, but we're builders of all sorts.
Yeah.
What is the difference between Gunpla kits and the original?
Huge difference. So, it's one of my oldies there. The thing that really sets Gundam apart is, for one thing, they're robots. That's certainly a big standout thing in the hobby community. Most model kits are, come on, oh yeah.
I'm trying,
You're
guys.
trying to be. Sorry. Continue.
We're doing our best.
We thought we had 2 screens for this, but we only have 1 panel.
We only cast one.
Modifying on the fly.
There we go.
All right, so here's an example of like a more traditional model kit. Most model kits build into static vehicles, whether they be cars or planes or tanks or cool spaceships in this case. The thing about Gunpla is that they build into articulated figures, which most model kits don't. You basically get a build your own action figure out of it. And the other thing that really stands out about Gunpla is their snap fit construction. All you do is you just cut the parts off the runners, follow the directions, and they go together much like a Lego set, which I think is what makes them so accessible. Most people can get into this hobby really, really easily.
There it goes.
Yeah. So here's an example of a kit built straight out of the box. There's no glue or paint or anything like that involved. It all snaps together. The other big thing is that all of the colors are molded that way. Gundam kits come molded in the colors that they're supposed to go in. Sometimes they come with stickers or water slide decals so you can detail them up further. But yeah, that's a pair of nippers and an afternoon. That gets you that. So that's pretty cool. Whereas model kits like this, where it's a ton of work, takes a long time. There's a much higher barrier to entry for something like this because it is glued together, a bunch of body work, a lot of paint know-how to get it to this point. Whereas Gundam, you can just jump in and have fun with it.
Yeah.
And there's sort of what I would call an expandable difficulty to it, whereas you can show these.
Show these.
So these are pretty much the same type of kit. One is snapped together out of the box, and the other has a more elaborate paint job on it. So you can really take the hobby as far as you want to go. A lot of people find it's maybe intimidating to get into this hobby. That's completely untrue. You can jump in, start somewhere, and maybe eventually you can get to that sort of pro level where you're taking it to a more advanced level. That's really fun.
That is Gundam in a nutshell.
Yeah.
No, it's okay.
Focus.
Okay, sorry.
Not action figures.
He does it
They are.
literally.
Yes, got a question?
Can you talk about the levels from the top?
Absolutely.
Oh, yes,
That's actually what
we'll
we're
definitely get to that.
getting
Yeah. Yeah, we're going to go through. So within the Gundam kits itself, there are multiple lines of figures. So we have the high grades, master grades, the SDs, real grades, and perfect grades there. So when you hear those different types of grades, it's really telling you the skill level, the details on how to put it together.
Now, it may seem like a burden of knowledge, mainly because it's like, oh my god, all these symbols, but we're going to go over them a little bit and tell you what we think of these lines for Gunpla themselves. So don't feel intimidated by how many, like, oh, I have to remember all of this. But there's definitely something for everybody here, okay?
Absolutely. If you haven't seen our sort of spread, there's quite a number of different things. For examples, right now we
I
brought
have an
some.
example of everything here.
Yeah.
Pretty close.
So what is an HG? HG means high grades, and Brian right here is our specialist when it comes to building that.
A high grade man. So it's these same ones again. These are both.
Show them back in.
Yeah. If
Again.
you want to see them again, yeah, those are examples of high grades, and the high grade range is kind of it's kind of the most common default range as far as the grades go. And so basically to sum them up, they are kind of a mid-ground as far as detail and complexity go. They're a pretty good beginner kit, but you can also do a lot with them. They are priced really nicely.
Affordable is definitely there.
So a little bit about this specific kit here. Before it even showed up at one of our meets, Brian himself shows up at these meets, and for the longest time we just have no idea who he is and what he's doing. Quiet guy just pops in, just quietly sits down, and we're like, who is this guy? And then one day he comes and brings this one right here. And you just, yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
well, I gotta move everything.
So, amazing work itself. Compared to the blue one, straight out of the box, cut and build. And then Brian took his time to work on this little guy and put in paint work, weathering, just to make it look more realistic.
Yeah.
And that's the thing with Gundams. You can, like Brian was saying, you can just out of the box build it, leave it there, or you can take your time and put your art skills to the test, I guess they say. Came up with this. I know when you showed us this one at Armida, just fell head over heels for it. Right there.
Me or the kid?
For the kid.
Oh,
For the kid.
He's married.
His wife is president.
Yes. Yes.
Center, did you use airbrushing for that?
yes, yeah.
Versus this
Airbrushing and
one.
lots of sophisticated weathering techniques that I've learned over the years, but there is a washing pump. That's the thing, yeah, you can take it to any extreme that you want, yeah.
You have a question over there?
When you're painting the Gunplas, is there, how do they take to like oil washes as opposed to acrylics?
That's a great question. This one here did all the base coating and whatnot in acrylics, which I've since strayed away from. They're just too hard to work with. And they're very fragile, which maybe not the greatest for a posable kit like this. Oil products are fine. It's the enamel-based ones that you gotta watch out for. A lot of people just flat out say enamels don't work with Gunpla, which not necessarily true. It's all about the off-gassing of enamels when they're curing. That needs to go somewhere, so if enamel product gets into crevices or inside the kit, that off-gassing can make the plastic brittle and it will actually break the kit. But as long as it has room to off-gas and cure properly, I've had no problem. There's a lot of oil and enamel-based products on this one. So it's just a matter of being careful, which is kind of hard, but it is.
With a lot of the Gundam kits, a lot of people do fall back into the lacquer-based paints. They are quite smelly, and a lot of it you do have to mix and prime.
But even I've seen the wonders of their magic.
Yeah, we have a few examples here. Anyway.
They just provide the best finish, and they're a lot more durable, which is good for handling. Yes.
Yes.
So I come from Warhammer.
Oh, yes.
Okay.
Right.
So would those line of paints, like the Citadel line of paints, transfer over to Gunpla?
Absolutely, yes. We actually have a couple of people that I know that actually have used Warhammer paint. Well, even for ourselves, we use Citadel paints myself too, before on Gunpla. That's no problem to it.
We have a Calgary-based YouTuber. If you've ever seen a Millennial Model Mayhem, he comes from the Warhammer side, and his YouTube channel is dedicated to painting these kits with just like Warhammer paints.
Yes.
So you should definitely check him out. It's Millennial Model Mayhem.
Yeah.
He does an amazing job too.
Yeah.
So moving on to the next grade.
Oh, real quick. The high grades, like he said, they're pretty affordable.
They're actually quite affordable because you're usually looking at the oldest line of high grades are average about still around $20.
Yeah.
20 to 30, yeah.
Yeah.
Even some of the older ones are under 20, which is crazy for a model kit.
So it's definitely accessible.
Exactly. Next one.
So the master grades here are
Ooh.
something I enjoy building quite a bit. You build master grades. You build master grades.
I know.
So don't say boo. Don't
I
say
say
boo. But this guy pretty much only builds master grades, is what he said, or he says, and really.
Yeah.
He does build a lot of high grades himself.
I don't. I build master grades. So here's another line, the MG, right? So we just talked about HG. Now we got MGs, and can somebody pass me a master grade like Jesta?
Do it.
So one of the key differences you're going to notice immediately is just the size. So for example, this one here is a high grade as well, right? So which we just talked about, high grade, and this is a master grade. You can immediately tell the difference in size, right? We're talking about a 1/100 scale. And for me specifically, I just enjoy master grades more, mainly because of the shelf presses that they carry when you put them up there. They just look cool, and they just have a lot more detail. So they have more gimmicks, like lights that you can put in. You can, oh, I don't even have the camera on, right? Like sorry guys, I'm talking and I gotta do this.
I forgot to mention that the high grades are all in the 1/144th scale.
I guess we
That's
should.
why they're smaller.
If we were talking about scaling, basically to what they represent, like from the show. So 1/100 basically means 1/100th of a scale, basically versus what it was supposed to be in size. So when we say 1/44th scale, 144th of the actual real size versus the 1/100. Hey Jess.
Showing it on the camera, it doesn't show.
But usually it wasn't. everyone talks about scales, just like in regular models. There's a lineup in Gunpla itself as well.
Yeah, so, and then one of the things that you guys gotta remember about the master grades is that they do cost a little bit more because you're buying plastic, right? So that's one of the good things between like compared to high grades to a master grade. High grade, like you said, you can buy it for $15, $20, $30, right? But a master grade can cost you upwards to $50 to $100, depending on which one you're gonna buy, right? And obviously there are more variations that cost a lot more, but when you're just looking to get into the hobby, you're looking around $50 for one of those. For that size, okay?
So the next lineup we have here is called Real Grade, or the RGs if you want. Alina loves building RGs herself, so I'll let her speak a little bit on it.
Yeah, hello, hi, my name's Alina. So the real grades, there aren't much variety of them, but these are the most detailed kits that you can get in this size. These are really great for anime fanatics. These are designed based off the actual show. So I will hand that to you. So there's roughly about 40 different variations of a real grade currently rotating right now, and most of those variations are usually the most popular ones. So we have like things like the R78 and the Epion, things like that. These, I would say though, these are not very beginner friendly considering all of these small pieces and stuff like that. But if you build them straight out of the box, put them on the shelf, these will look absolutely incredible.
So the biggest thing about these is like there's part separation. So when you move, there's actually parts that actually go along with it. So that's one of the biggest difficulties about having such a small kit is that now you're trying to piece something together even smaller versus something like a master grade that actually quite a bit larger, still posable, but then they're easier for you to actually pose and connect the pieces together. And also, this line, it's great. It saves you shelf space, so it doesn't take us much room. There you go.
All right. And finally, the perfect grade. The perfect grade is the most popular out of the largest line of Gundam kits itself. This right here is the perfect grade. They are quite a bit pricier, but for me, I love them. The detail and complexity in building one of these guys, what can I say? It's just a lot of fun. To me, it's like building a big puzzle. What's that? Oh.
Oh, okay. Give you examples. We brought a few different PGs today.
So one of these kits, if you want to take your time in building it, and you're not crazy like this guy here, for myself, it could take me anywhere from 2 to 3, 4 months to build one, just because of the details I want to add into it. But this guy built the straight here.
No, Tess built them.
Oh, his wife built this one in one night.
Yes.
So they're fun, they're big, they're very complex when it comes to posing, and absolutely amazing. I can't say too much on these guys because.
So basically, when you go up into the next line, oh yes, question.
Is the grade system standard across the industry? Like for example, like I've been looking a lot for like Muv-Luv,
Okay.
Gunpla. Would they, if they're from like a different company, would they use the same system?
They don't use the same system. What happens is Bandai made this system so it's easier for you to look at the box and you can tell right away what you're getting into, the complexity and the level, and the price point somewhat. Other companies, they don't really do that necessarily because it's not the same universe, so it's a little bit difficult to scale it. And basically, looking at that point, they're not exactly. Like I know Kotobukiya, for example, is another really popular brand that does the Mood-Love series. They don't have a definitive scale, but they do have a lineup of them as well.
And one thing to remember is what he said about Bandai wanting to make it easier for people to just get into the hobby. It's easier to remember the 1/100, 1/144 compared to like military kits that are like 1/32 or 1/7. I think you would know a little bit more about that.
Yes.
They just have really weird scaling, and all of a sudden you have to
1200.
remember all of these numbers. There's no real name to them.
It's just,
I mean, some traditional companies go with like the difficulty level 1, 2, 3 kind of scale, but I think when it comes to traditional models, it is, yeah, like the bigger the model, the more detailed difficult it will be, whereas the Bandai kits are a little more all over the place, because you have big ones that are complicated, but you also have tiny ones that are complicated, and then big ones that are not complicated. That's what we're here for, trying to educate.
So before we move on to the next thing here, I just want to quickly state out this perfect grade right here is the newest line that they created. Both Jess and myself love building this guy. Have you built yours yet?
Halfway done.
Yeah. So to me, it's like a giant master grade. It's just the complexity and everything for the kit itself. And we all hope moving forward that guy really continues to build the kits this way, just because of the presence of it itself.
All right.
Any questions? No?
Yeah.
Is there like 1 to 40 stick scale?
There's 1 to 40.
I remember getting like a mega size kit.
Mega size are 1 to 48.
Yeah.
Yeah, they have the 148 of the Unicorn at RX, and I believe the Zaku.
Zaku, Unicorn, yeah.
But
And
a
the
lot,
Freedom.
yeah, but they're a lot more basic.
Yeah, so it's like a high grade blowing up into huge. We didn't mention that one because they're a little bit less popular. So a lot of people don't end up buying them because they're like this big, right? So.
I also find that the mega sizes are also rare. I find that I can't see to find them very often anyway.
If anyone wants a mega size RX-78, there's one in the vendor hall in the community corner at Bento Gaming.
Yeah.
When you're painting the perfect grade, is this, do you have to prime them, or would that?
Priming itself is definitely a must. I'm not gonna lie, I never used to. I never used to prime, but when I did, it was very light coat. Okay, I did. But I do prime all my parts now. All my parts, I cut it up individually, and I prime and paint every single piece itself.
Do you prime them individually or after they're painted?
Individually. So it's depending on like the type of builder, some people like to prime everything individually, put it together, pose it, take pictures, take the pieces apart, and then paint the colors they want on there. For myself, I literally cut everything out, put it in a pile, and just think, how am I going to paint it?
Don't do what he does necessarily. Follow the instructions properly when you're first time building. Do not cut every single piece out of the runner first and throw it in a box.
Yeah, Kevin's a little different. He's a different breed.
Do not do
He literally
that.
cuts everything out of the runner and he doesn't care and he just paints it and then he's like, oh, how does this go together? And then it's just,
It works.
it works, as you can see. It's
Works for him.
Not for everyone.
Not for everybody.
Please do not learn from
There's a
this.
manual inside.
There is a manual.
I still use the manual, but not page by page. I jump back and forth.
But this is the same one, so this is the one here, but this one is one that he painted. It's actually your Autofest entry for last year.
Yes.
Yeah. So,
So moving on next, we have Derek's most favorite line. So Derek, this is called the SD Gundam. We know it's your favorite.
yes, it is one of my favorites. It's called SD Gundams because they're super deformed, they're cute, they're chibi, and they're super affordable. Don't worry,
Don't worry. He has a walk-in closet full of them.
Yeah.
He's okay. He's okay.
Okay, so the story is basically SD kits themselves. They're as much as high grades and all these other master grades, SDs are the greatest starting kits I find in the marketplace. They're starting as low as like $5 to $10 to get into it. And majority of them, they're very simple, they're chibi like this, but they have a lot of like movable parts. And this one I'm holding in my hand currently, if I show it. This one is dated back from, I think,
2000.
no, even older. This was like back in 1995. Yes,
Have you built the SDMG?
yes.
Is it awesome?
Yeah.
It is amazing. We actually have it up front here.
Oh, it's that guy.
Yeah, so later on after this, definitely come up and we can take a look at all this stuff, and then we'll also have it at the panel room at 5:30 tonight too. So we can definitely show it off here. So that's the MGSD there. That's the newest of the new of all the SDs comparison to this little guy.
Oh, yes.
Amazing kit to build. If you get the opportunity, 100% go ahead and build it.
Yeah.
I do live here.
Just real quick for anybody who has a little bit more interest in all these kits, we're gonna have them up when we're doing our workshop.
Yep. So our workshop is at 5:30 up in what was it?
Arabian Sea.
Arabian Sea Room at 5:30, and we'll be giving away free kits for everyone to experience, to take home and build.
But they're limited, so
Yes.
first come, first served.
Yes. Yes, but if we're up there and we're gonna have our kits out, you can ask us and we can show you. You guys can see the different details and all that.
So going through SDs, like I brought a few different SDs today, basically like Night Gundam and also my Double Zeta. Like they're cute little guys, they're adorable, they're great for any ages, and they don't take as many shelf space. I always love this lineup, and that's sort of my tag name for it.
I mean, the fact that they're like $5, $6, some of them, you can just buy them and then you have an afternoon to build.
Yeah.
Like they may seem very simple, but they do have a little bit of parts, right? Like a good number of parts.
You can transform them, they have a lot of gimmicks still. You don't have to go all in to have a lot of fun to do something on like the afternoon, which I love about the SD series myself.
So Gundam, it just continues to grow, right? So right now, as you can see on the slide here, we have the MGX, which is
That white one
right there.
I see this
So,
one as well.
and this is the MGX for the Frida that just came out this month. You can leave it there. It's gonna, he's gonna break it again.
I just leave it there.
But yeah, these two are one of the newest lines that they did create, and they are amazing. I haven't built any of them because he took it. And he took the other one, so I didn't get a chance to.
Wow, thanks.
So I got the opportunity to build the MGSD. That's what I got. Even though he likes the SDs, he's the one, I'm the one that got to build it. But yeah, like I was saying, if you get the opportunity, hands down, go ahead and build it. But yeah, with these lines, it just shows that Bandai is continuing to grow. If SDs came out like this moving forward, you're building a master grade just in a smaller size, and it's cute, it's fun, it's lots of posability on them.
Yeah, and it goes back to the idea, as I mentioned earlier, there's something in here for everyone, right? So the thing that Bandai hasn't stopped innovating and creating new lines with new details and gimmicks, like it's really not going to stop. It doesn't seem to ever stop. There's always new releases every month or whatever.
And they're adding gimmicks and new gimmicks to it, and make it even easier for people to get into. Because we'll be talking to it in the next parts here.
Yeah, so this is what we recommend when people start building cutters or nippers, sanders. With these things it's going to help you so much when it comes to cutting pieces off and cleaning them up to put them together. Don't do what he did. You use side cutters, nail clippers, his mouth, and
What?
Yeah, we all have our origin story. I think, let's actually, real quick, what did you use to build your first kit?
What I use?
Yeah, did you already have nippers? Were you already fancy pants?
Ooh, humble beginnings. I remember way back in the day when I knew nothing, and I had like, it was just like a hobby knife, but I had like a set of a bunch of different blades, and I had the chiseled blade, and just like just chopping them off the runner. And I didn't know.
And you, Alina?
Because I got into the hobby after meeting Derek, I definitely was, I definitely had like the regular cutters, but when I was at home, because no one had any, I had to like pull out my dad's like old rusty like wire cutters, like rusted to the nines, and like, I'm like, well, this will have to do, I guess.
Derek?
All right. I started building when I was 6 years old. I pushed it through the runners, and I bit the plastic off of
So there you go. Everybody's got something.
Children is not allowed tools, so that's all you can use.
Yeah, I built a really old kit.
The point is, you could use almost anything to really begin. You don't need, you're gonna meet people in the
Don't
hobby
use your
who
teeth.
have, like tools are like super, like not super expensive, but they are pretty pricey.
Yeah.
But I began, when I first started the hobby, I bought like $5 nippers, right? And that's all you need. You don't need anything fancy, and you can still get the same product out of it. Obviously, like any hobby, there's people that take it more seriously and start getting the pricier things. You can definitely start out, which is like $20 in your pocket.
Yeah.
You don't really need that much.
Absolutely.
Yeah, if that.
If that.
And you can use your mouth. It's free.
I wouldn't recommend it.
Not recommended.
So that does bring us to the end of the panel itself. Does anybody here have any questions at all?
No, it's Q&A.
Oh,
Oh, the Q&A?
yeah.
Is there any vendors, here today
Yes.
that you would recommend for Gunpla? I saw one.
Bento.
There's only the one vendor right now, and he actually has quite a number of them. Some of them are actually on special right now. They're in the community hall, Bento Gaming. He has a lot of model kits, and also he has the nippers, the starter set, going as low as $12. And they're actually really decent. They're genuine and decent cutters.
Quick question, who here is from Calgary? Like, who lives here? Who is not from Calgary, then everybody else is, right? Well, the cool thing is that compared to other like towns and cities, we actually have a pretty good number of Gunpla stores. Like, it's not like Bento is in New Horizon, right? You have YYC Gundam that is literally in Dragon City Mall.
Yep.
In Chinatown.
In Chinatown, you have Shoebox,
Yeah.
which is in McKnight. Like, there's so many compared to us. Huh?
Megazone.
Megazone. They do have a smaller variety.
Yep,
But yeah,
Kinjo
definitely-
Sushi.
Kinjo, yeah.
Kinjo's. I just got a kit like a month ago from there as well.
So believe it or not, Kinjo is a hidden gem when it comes to Gundam kits that
Yeah.
I've really noticed.
Yeah.
Throughout the time of COVID, kits were very, very hard to come by because of everything that was shut down.
Yeah.
Somehow, Kinjo had the rare ones. If you were looking for a new up-and-coming kit, somehow they just had it. It's like they knew something was happening and they just kept it hidden. They're like, oh, COVID's here. Let's put these out now.
Yeah, so the point is, like, there are a lot of stores, so definitely look around, and you will definitely find Gunpla all over Calgary.
Yes.
Also, Model Land.
Yep. Model.
Yeah, down south.
The
That's right.
downstairs is like so many.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, when I first moved up here, they were actually very limited. But yeah, you're right. Recently, it's grown so much, right? And that's one of the main things why we're here today. It's just to show like it's growing. A lot of these places, like we go to a competition once a month here. Once a year here called Comms. For the longest time, they was all military, naval, trained, and now Gundam is all part of it. They love seeing the new changes when it comes to what they started building to now. A lot of sci-fi stuff, Gundams, it's just blowing up.
Exactly.
All right. And next, just in case you guys want to follow what we do, those are our Instagram tags. Then we have a certain someone there who doesn't use social media whatsoever, so.
So we put his phone number on
Put his
there.
phone number on there.
Not true. Also, that's not my actual phone number. I don't know what happens if you call that.
But definitely, come check us out. For our community groups, so the Calgary Gunpla community, there's also a website.
Yeah.
Yeah, the website's a new edition. So if you go to calgarygunpla.ca, you'll find what all our meetups are. There's a full directory of all the stores that are in the city, including both Kinjo locations that have Gunpla and all that sort of stuff too.
Yep.
And we also have photos of the meetups, the kits that people are bringing, things like that.
Yep.
So something I do when we do the meetups, when I'm there, I actually bring a full photo booth with a turntable, and I actually scan your model kit. I do a 360 dimensional like video, and then we post it on the webpage for you too.
Yep. So that's a come and hang out. And then for our YouTube channel, you can check us out at Gunpla Talk Show, where we have reviews and other videos. You've just been busy right now with this.
Yes.
But we'll definitely be there. We'll be live streaming and hanging out. And
Exactly.
And then,
Oh, sorry, go on. Go ahead.
no, I was gonna say, our build workshop is later today at 5:30 in room Arabian Sea upstairs on the second floor, right?
Yep, second floor, as I said, up the escalator, past the VIP room, the next room after that, that's our room there. And we'll give you an example of what we're actually
So
going to be
this is
building.
what you can get. Obviously, they're limited to first come, first served.
Yeah,
We have this one, so you guys can come and get one of these and build it. You can get a Pikachu because he's cute. You guys got Goku over here, Son Goku.
And just a quick thing with these kits here, you don't need cutters, glue, or painting.
so they're completely toolless. They're great experience kits. These are not like retail, like found kits at all. So they're only exclusive for these events. So definitely I will welcome anyone if you guys stick around. Afterwards, come up to us at 5:30, come meet us, and take a seat, and we can show you if you need help, or just take your time, have some fun building a kit for yourself, and take it home.
So finally, again, us all together would like to thank Platinum for sponsoring the kits for us this afternoon. And biggest thing is thank you to the expo itself for letting us and giving us the opportunity to come show you guys what we love to do, what we're trying to do to bring the community together, and all enjoy building it.
Yes. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you, guys.
If you don't mind, after this, if I could take a picture really quick with everyone in the crowd and us, I just want to say thank you to Plymouth for this, to show
Yeah,
that
we're
what we
sending
do.
you a sponsor.
Yeah, they want proof that we were here.
I wasn't lazy.
They want proof that people should read.
Also, it's pretty neat to be up here. So.
Yeah, it's pretty cool.
All right,
It's
guys.
pretty cool. Oh, this is the other side.
All right, guys.
I don't
So
think
we're
it
seeing-
is.
Yep, there it is. All right, guys, ready? 4 and